50 K. %6. First. $6,000. Yeah, 6%. Six. $94% profit. $1,000. Okay, then you got it. 6,000. Cost 88%. 5,000. 6,000. What percentage? Right? Doing it. Bonjour, can you hear me? Bueno. Bueno.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing better than I deserve. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I know we're gonna get it in, not this week, but the next week. I can't wait. I got some stuff for you too.
Yes, I cannot wait.
I like that. I love it. I love it. Veronica, you back. You can't get enough.
No, actually, that's me, man. I can't let her
Oh.
learn all the secrets. I need to get in too. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I love it. Yeah, that's good, man. I like that. I was like, Veronica, she back. Oh, she wanted. Yeah, I like
Right.
that.
I told her, I said, I had sent her a message because I was out working this morning and I had sent her a message and I said, hey, let him know that that's me because he's going to be like, damn, girl. You know?
Yeah, I like it though. Education is power. You know what I mean? The more you know. I like it.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Definitely. I appreciate everything, man. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Your wife, she killed it, man. She got some questions. I said, you ain't playing no games. She got questions, following up, taking notes. I mean, she's trying to get it. I said, man, you got a good team member on your team, man. That's good.
No, definitely. Oh, trust me, I see all her notes they're all around this office right now. She got notes for days. I said, I love it though, because I mean, I want her to learn it. You know what I mean? That's why I just stood back and let you do your thing. And obviously, she's learning and she's putting knowledge. I'm learning as well from her. You know what I mean? So it's just, we're a team.
Yeah.
So, yep. So I appreciate everything, man. Definitely do.
Oh yeah, no problem, Chief. No problem. I can't wait to see how everything transpires. So yeah, I guess I know we're gonna give about a few more minutes, couple more minutes or whatever like that for people to kind of chime in. That's a good thing about me doing stuff through Instagram or whatever. I don't have to worry about going through a little, title, introduction, and all that kind of stuff like that. But really, it's kind of like do my course this week, plus a couple other people that have been hitting me up talking about some stuff. I think it'd be ideal to kind of talk about, profit margins in a sense, just something real simple, like 30 minutes. We ain't trying to get nothing crazy, whatever, right? But I want to talk about kind of a lot of people are going to, this year get into trucking, whether it be being a freight dispatcher and or getting a truck. So I just want to kind of talk about, both ways of looking at profits, what to anticipate, what to do. And then also, if anything, team up with somebody, family member, spouse, friend, whomever. And then why not go ahead and do both, become a carrier and have your own freight dispatch company. Because I feel like even for me personally, when I was having problems as being a carrier, I think what allowed me to survive, because I didn't have a lot of financial backing. I had some savings, but when I started my business, like in the first 8 months, I lost like $22,000 by maintenance, having, piss poor equipment, didn't know, having issues, whatever. And then, learning stuff the hard way. And I really didn't see a way to get out of a lot of situations. I feel like I kept being stagnant with my money because, I always was buying into businesses or having my businesses where, the profit margin was so small or slim that, it was very small room for error. And then we had to be stupid busy. So for just to kind of maybe get a little insight into that, right? So when I started trucking, had a job, quit the job, whatever, had trucks. And my thing was I would make money based on my trucks, what they do. But day one, I had employee because I brought Erica, my personal assistant. She came with me the day I quit my business. So I already had payroll. So I already had roughly $2,000 a month in essentially payroll day one. And it had nothing to do with me getting paid, right? So, with that, then I had my landscaping business. I had a partner with that. We did a 70-30 split. So, whatever was profit, I would get 30% of it from doing the admin, marketing, stuff like that. So that was probably profiting 20%, and then I have my apparel line when I was making things with that, but then I couldn't really sell it because I'm busy. So then I was, running Facebook ads and stuff like that. So my profit margins were maybe 15 to 20% on top of all that, right? So I say that, to say, when your profit margins are slim, then based on the law of compounding, you got to get a lot of customers, you got to have a lot of trucks, you have to have a lot of clients. It has to be now some ability for you to compound it if the percentage of profit is very small due to the amount of revenue you get. So let's say, if something costs $50, 10% of $50, you know what I mean? You do the simple math, right? $5, right? But then on the same note, you have on the same other thing that you have, 10% of $50,000 is $5,000, right? So then, the percentages are what they are. But now the issue is that, we need to get as much money as possible. Or if I'm going to get a very small profit margin, it needs to compound where I have 100 people using the exact same thing at 10%. Okay, so that's why I figured this would be good. Now, I know we had like 15 people sign up for the Zoom link, but people are, they're not coming or they're not showing up. So we about to get it in because I don't like waiting. I like getting into it, right? So anyway, we're going to go ahead and dive into it, right? So I got this little graph over here. And I actually went this over. I kind of talked about this recently with my ladies in the group this week. And that's how I thought, no, I need to do more. Like I've been talking about this year, it's going to be a year of community. I need to be able to do a little bit more, for people, just in general outside the community, just to try to give them as much value as help as we can, because there's a lot of bad information in the industry based on whatever people, maybe they don't know or they have ill intent. I don't know. I had nothing to do with that. But it's just the time to do something, right? So I'm going to explain this graph. and what it's supposed to mean. And I'm doing it on purpose what I had to explain it. So that way nobody could essentially, if they were to find this or somebody would have screenshot this without me explaining it to them, they still wouldn't generally have a way to understand what it is based on the way my mind thinks, right? So when you look at it initially, it looks crazy, right? And this is literally how my mind works, right? There's a page on my website that has like this little breakdown of like somebody's messing with the chemistry or stuff like that in the background where you see all these equations. And literally when I look at numbers, this how my mind immediately goes to numbers. Is very similar to like this kind of seemingly chaos, but it makes sense to me because my mind thinks left to right, top to bottom in order to figure out how to strategically get something done, right? Because everything is possible, everything, if somebody else has already done it. Now you want to come out here and have a watch that floats and it tells you time, maybe that's not possible. But when it comes to the structure of business, business is business. There's no secret method to anything when it comes to business. It just, you have to understand processes, systems, and then service, and you be able to execute on these things, and you're going to generate money, right? That's just how it is. That's why when people focus very strongly on business, they can have a multitude of different businesses, all be successful, and then run them, seemingly at the same time. That's why you have serial entrepreneurs that can manage multiple businesses at the same time. Okay, so based on me saying that, this graph, the top part of the graph is going to represent carriers. The bottom part of the graph is going to represent dispatchers. Okay, and then we'll go over. I'll do like something because I know there might be 1 or 2 carriers on this call based on me sending an email. And if so, I'm going to walk through the cost of operation, cost per mile calculations, because a lot of people don't do that. And if you're smart and you listen to this and you're a freight dispatcher, this is a phenomenal way to get carriers, because you basically will offer to do this for free for them, like in a Facebook group, and they will blow up your email address because a lot of them have never seen this. No one has ever explained this to them, and they really don't have a clue of where their profit margins are. Okay, so one of the top things in business when it comes to a lot of people want to have a business idea, go to the bank, tell the bank the business, the vision, whatever, and the bank doesn't believe in your vision, people get mad, and it's because your business model or your business plan doesn't make any sense. Because you not only need to count the cost, but you also need to have a level of experience to anticipate when things don't go the way you see fit. And most of the time when people have a business plan, they're building a business plan based on top utopic situation. So like if everything goes well, that's how they build the business model, opposed to you need to build it on the opposite end. Is if it's slow as all get out and everything hits the fan, can I still survive? And most people, when it's not utopic, they cannot survive. This is why most people that got into the transportation industry in 2022, when it was absolutely atrocious, pretty much around, after April, it's been really rough out here. Rates in the trash and fuel is high. Those people that are going to be able to endure to maybe the end of this year or going into next year, and everything always corrects itself, and then rates almost double seemingly, fuel goes down, they're going to be eating, because their introduction into the trucking business or the trucking industry was at its bottom. So then when it's at its top, they will be able to flourish, scale, buy trucks, because they know how to survive. When other people start in at the top and then things get rough, they drown themselves because they overly leverage themselves in debt and they cannot figure out how to survive. This is why even if you are a freight dispatcher, which that's truly my audience, you need to be able to be phenomenal in marketing, because every day people need to know your business exists just in case this carrier goes out of business. You need to be able to replace them because you have nothing to do with their overhead cost or their cost of living if they're over leveraging themselves. That has nothing to do with us. And I don't get into those conversations. And matter of fact, I try to stay away from it, because the whole idea of you being a dispatcher is generally you met your carrier when they already had their MC. So when I met you, when you were already in business, I have nothing to do with what you did to get in business, and that's not my agenda. Now, if you meet me and I help you get into the industry, that's a completely different dynamic. But since I don't really want that burden, I generally don't promote that or any of that stuff. So yes, people can hire me to be their mentor for trucking businesses, stuff like that's fine. But I'm not out here saying that, because I want people to be prepared for a truck, not just go get one. Okay, so Based on that, the top part is graph. So I'm gonna do my little mouse since we over Zoom. So this first bottom top circle right here, bubble, is gonna represent gross that a carrier may obtain in a year. Gross, okay? So generally coming into trucking, leading into last year, right? Generally, as a rule of thumb, if you did your in-house dispatching, normally you would profit about 40%, right? If you did your own in-house dispatching, so the carrier dispatch themselves, the family member, whatever it is, you'll be profiting generally around about 40%, okay? So if you were to profit around 40%, if you made $150,000 of gross, okay, gross, then you would keep, where you would make about 60% of that, okay? And I'm gonna go through this whole chart, then I'm gonna go hit this other thing, which is gonna be on Motor Carrier HQ, so you can actually see this for yourself, okay? To actually figure out how to get it, because every single trucking business is gonna have a different profit margin. It is not the rule of thumb. And that's what makes it very dangerous when people on the internet saying all these type of, statements and promising the world to people, when every single person's business model is completely different based on their credit, their insurance costs. Did they pay it all up? Did they pay half? Down payment, history. Did they get a new truck, old truck? Do they have a lot of maintenance on the truck? Do they have no maintenance? Did they rent it? Like, there's so many variables that can make this number be as low as 0%, and they don't realize it, is up to maybe 60% possibly. You know what I mean? You never know. So that's why it's very dangerous to listen to the internet and go out here and make a commitment towards something just to make gross, but you make no profits. Okay, that's what's dangerous. So if you make 150 gross, come down here. That's why I slid down this way. You come across 40% of that is $60,000 in a year. And now, in order for you to obtain that, the requirement for most equipment types is going to be OTR. So you have a lot of people getting to the industry, especially if they don't know their profit margin, they immediately want to be local or regional. Those are usually the first two ways that you basically are going to shoot yourself in the face, that you're going to kill yourself when you start having maintenance problems if you're not generating enough money to take care of your fixed cost and your variable cost, right? Fixed cost, insurance, truck note, ELD, right? Parking lot, where you park your trailer. Fixed costs every month. These are coming to you. They coming to you, right? Then your variable cost, maintenances. Some of this is fixed too, because you need oil change every month. But then, something happens on the road. You bust a tail light. This happens. All of a sudden, debts start going crazy. You didn't anticipate that. So there's all these anticipations. Fuel is high. All these other things. So you have to make a certain amount of money on revenue weekly. And then you break down the revenue numbers to now figure out what the profit margin. So we do a little bit of math. Let's say your profit margin is 30% and you're a carrier. Let's just say that's your number, right? If you do $3,000 in a week times 30%, that means you would actually get to keep $900. So your mind needs to know, I don't care how much I made on paper, the amount of money that we made to the house is $900. So it can be $900 or $1,000 you made in a week because something happened, you didn't get the run, things didn't work out like you saw fit, you made $300. Or if you over the road, $6,000 in a week times 30%, now you made $1,800. So it's way more ideal based on a lot of variables that people don't know about when they're brand new, for you to be over the road and make $1,800 a week profit until you make enough money where you got $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 established, you got set aside. Then you can pull back and say, you know what? I put in the work being OTR. Now I can pull back and be regional because I have enough money. But if I put $60,000 in the bank and it gets down to about 20, I got to get back out there again and go OTR because I got to make sure that we're going to be able to make it with this one truck. Okay. So again, a qualifying component that'd be OTR. A real person that is OTR, the American trucker, is going to be on the road 3 to 6 weeks at a time. That is the definition of OTR. So they're going to be on the road 3 to 6 weeks at a time, generally, including birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, getting sick, maintenance. They will travel 40 weeks out of the 52. So if they do that, that's the thing, 2 to 3 weeks at a time, roughly. Okay. Then they're expected to make $60,000 a year. Now, that is phenomenal money if you get to keep it based upon the national average right now. The income in the United States for a family is $52,000. And it could be two people working in a household across the United States. So one person self-dispatch or the wife dispatches them. If they make $150,000 on gross at a 40% profit margin, they're going to make $60,000. That is the average. That is good money. Please stop listening to stuff on the internet, okay? That is great money. They're above the average, okay? But now let's go up. The reason why this next number exists is if, this is where the number really gets tricky, if the person's profit margin is 40% and you go hire a driver and put them in your truck, well, now that means your profit margin went from 40% to 15. So now if you still do the same gross of $150,000 and your profit margin is 15%, now you made $22,500. Again, that is phenomenal money for you to have an asset, which is something, system, or item that you own that's generating money so that way you don't have to do it. So for myself, I've been a carrier since 2016. I have never picked up and driven a load ever because when I understood this math, I said, okay, I believe the principles of rich dad, poor dad, rich people make money in their sleep, all that. How can I now operate a business from an admin point of view, right, from the office and make money? So that way my money is slim. So like somebody go jump in a truck and they out here getting money quick. They make fast money. Boom, first year. You know, this dude comes out here and makes $60,000 a year. I'm over here making the same amount of money, but I only make 22. So if my goal is to make $100,000 a year, but I can still keep this math, I know I need to go have 5 trucks, right? That's what that means. Now, my ability to get 5 trucks is irrelevant whether I get it done or not. If I want to make $100,000 a year profit that I keep in my house, that means I got to go get 5 trucks. If this person were to do this and they drive and they decide to have 2 other trucks, they make it. So can we both get there? Yes. The way you get there is irrelevant. The point of the matter of entrepreneurship in the first place is at the end of the day, can you get it done? See, so when you have the numbers, you have the calculations, now it's all about your ability to execute and manifest the goal. And so when most people, this is what happens when you go to a bank, is that they don't have any of this stuff broken down, but they go into the bank telling the bank their dream and they expect the bank to care, and they don't. The whole idea of the bank is if I give you money and I charge you interest, and I'll get my money back. That's why they're listening to you when you talk to them. And then they're trying to figure out exactly what you do because they have 9,000 other people who in transportation just like you. So if you go void on your what you need to pay and they put a lien on your truck, they'll come get your truck, email these 9,000 people, and they'll come take the truck that you didn't know what to do with. So that's all the bank is doing is talking to you. They don't care about your dream. They want to know if I give you this money, can you pay me back? Okay. So the top part is the carrier. Okay. That just completely carrier on what their money look like. But again, they need to go, which I would take you to, they need to go figure out where their profit margin is individually. So they know what the plan is, how I can execute it. If I don't like the plan, I need to look at something else. So instead of getting a box truck or a hot shot, maybe I need an 18-wheeler. Or, hey, I was gonna get an 18-wheeler, I can't afford that. Let me get a hot shot instead. Let me start out with this box truck. Then I'm gonna pay this box truck off, put somebody in, then I'm gonna scale. Whatever it is that you need to do that thing, but focusing on the numbers, not your emotions, not how long it's taking, but does the numbers make sense? Because one of the things that get people in trouble is they will put a time frame on a goal, but the problem with putting a time frame on a goal is things change. What if you put a certain metrics on a goal and you got there early? Would you not move because you got there too fast? You might, and then you miss opportunity. Or you put a certain time frame on something and the time frame is unrealistic. You think you're gonna make $1 million in 3 years? Okay, dummy, right? Well, then if you do it too, then you feel discouraged because it didn't happen with the time frame because the number that you had was unrealistic. This is why people generally have mentors and people that they talk to and help them and all that, so they can understand what is realistic, what is actually possible based on my situation, not the internet and just what I'm seeing on YouTube. Okay. So that's the carrier side. Remember, I'm gonna go a little bit further into that. Okay. Now the bottom side is the dispatcher. Okay. So remember, 40% at the top. Now you have the freight dispatcher. The freight dispatcher, based on what we teach, is that every truck that you have, you need to figure out how to make $350 every carrier. I don't care what you charge, flat rate, do whatever you need to do. I don't believe in flat rates, but do whatever you need to do, right? But every carrier, when you're working with them, if they picking up freight Monday through Friday, at the end of the week, when you send them invoice, the bottom number is at least 350 and better to justify you putting in the work to be a freight dispatcher. If you can do that and manage on an average 5 carriers, which means you might have 10 of them on your roster, but can 5 of them operate every single week? Are they going to be working? If so, you will make $1,750 a week. If that's all you did by yourself, no help, no virtual assistants, you ain't hired your mama yet, nobody's helping you, you work at your house, no help. If you can do that for 50 weeks, because usually 2 weeks out of the month, around Christmas to New Year's, a lot of people are not working. So because of that, you will make $87,500. Now, the sexy part about this math, based on what I just said, is you have now made more money than the person who has now went into debt, maybe $100,000 with a truck. But the difference is between them and you as a dispatcher is you better know how to operate a business that the carrier does not need to know. The carrier don't need a website. They don't need no slogan. They don't need no business mantra. They don't need to sell nothing. They can wear what they want to wear. They don't need to have an Instagram, TikTok, Facebook page. They ain't got to do nothing. All they got to do is a truck, trailer, insurance, get a load board, and they making money immediately, quick. Like today, they make money. You, on the other hand, have to persuade, convince, be more knowledgeable, have education, have application of what you say you better be able to do, all that. Then you need to be able to market yourself to make other people believe that you can actually do this thing that you were talking about properly based on their equipment. So it does not matter what your goal is with 350, that conversation can never come up between you and the carrier because you're in business as a freight dispatcher to help the carrier manifest their goals, which could be $5,000 a week, operating at $1.80 a mile, depending on the equipment type, come home every 4th week, whatever it is that they think they need to be able to do outside of the education that you will get from whoever you choose based on philosophies. Your job is to now put these things into practice every day with the execution of your ability to get it done. But that means you need to be able to market, from marketing to brand. So when you get referrals, people like your business, they recommend your business, you get referrals, you get repeat customers, all that kind of stuff, but you would need to know how to operate a business. And so this is the bottom part. You need to go from advertising to marketing to branding. For simple as possible. Advertising, waving outside, wearing a shirt to the mall where there's no carriers necessarily, says I'm a freight dispatcher. And you wear this shirt every Monday, and if you leave the house, you don't leave the house, you just wearing this shirt. There's no way for you to document you wearing this shirt every single day is making you any money, but people be like, I'm really trying to promote my business. I got this hat, and I wear this hat and this t-shirt, and no one wants me. Woe is me, okay? That's advertising, okay? Big businesses can do this because they look at it as a write-off. They don't look at it to generate profit, okay? Then you have marketing. Marketing would be you putting your product and service in front of people who can actually buy. Like every person that's on here, the reason why you're on here is because you're in my community and I speak according to your issues or problems based on stuff you care about. But for myself personally, what's behind me, because I'm at home this week because I got Zoom course, I didn't want to drive to the office, is Brandon Johnson Enterprises, my real estate company. I have real estate, landscaping, trucks, And yeah, and it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about today with B Logistics, right? But that it's not about my agenda. It's about providing a service to the person who needs it. So unless you go and look at all my other businesses and stuff like that, that's a completely different narrative that I'm petitioning to that audience member based on them deciding to use my product and or service. That's marketing. If you post and you get a response on a post, that's marketing. So where you can actually dictate, hey man, I made these 3 posts, I sold 1. Okay. I mean, make 5 posts, I sold 2. Okay, duh, fool, do 500, you sell 100. See, you begin to understand something. That's marketing. And lastly is brand. Branding is the fact of when people know what you do and you do it well, it doesn't matter the cost. Okay. So like if I say, hey, anybody here dating somebody, like let's use my dude over here, Veronica's husband, right? And I'm using her because her chat is over here, right? So let's say, it's their anniversary or something, right? He's gonna be in the doghouse if he tries to take his wife to McDonald's instead of taking us somewhere to make her feel special, especially when she's gonna be dispatching a truck, right? He's gonna be in the doghouse, right? That means you cannot sustain that nor do that based on the expectations, okay? Because everybody know a big event, something happens, we want to celebrate, steak restaurant. You already know you're gonna pay $300 to $500 to go to this restaurant. You already know that. But because it's something that's for you and you want a memorable thing, you don't care what the price is. So the goal in having a business, the whole goal, make sure I echo that in your ear, right? Is for if you have a business and you put sweat equity, time, money, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. If you ever get to the place where you don't want to do it anymore, you need to sell it, not quit doing it. Okay. But you can sell a business that's a brand. If there's no brand, you cannot sell it. It's not going to be valuable to any person. And that's a whole nother 3-hour lesson and, mentoring, whatever it will be on how to build a brand completely. That's a whole nother narrative, not for today. Okay. So again, I'm going to recap it. Okay. So the very top of this, traditionally, not now. So don't use this as, okay, I got a truck, I know I'm at 40%. No, and I'm going to show you how to get your own numbers, but you now need to be able to do the math, okay? Because the benefit of being a freight dispatcher at the bottom component of this is being a freight dispatcher in general is that with the freight dispatcher, their profit margins will be much greater than that of a carrier. So let's say you do this math right here, right? And just for this illustration, because I have it broken down very, very thorough per se on my little desk right here. But the most you're gonna pretty much spend for a regular dispatcher would be that load board. Let's say you want both load boards, that truck stop, you got a TMS system if you want to have one, you got Adobe, and you have some type of invoicing system. Okay, some type of invoicing system. So generally it'd be 5 things because you probably already got a computer, so don't add that. You probably already have a cell phone. No one says you need to go buy additional cell phone, all this foolishness. You need to do nothing. You just need to get access to freight. You need to get in front of carriers and you need to execute to make them money. All the other stuff, that's at a completely different conversation for a later time. Okay. Because in B Logistics, I made B Logistics an LLC in 2021. We were dispatching just randomly, not really focused really aggressively on it. We had a DBA since 2018. I had already made 6 figures in B Logistics before I ever made it an LLC. So we'd be stopping that nonsense, people be talking out of their neck. And I have other businesses that have LLCs, and I did not want to make an LLC because I knew I didn't need it. But then when I started teaching, I started putting assets under it. I put a couple of vehicles under B Logistics. I put insurance on it. Then obviously I made it an LLC. It was time for that. Okay, it's time for everything. I got a trademark pending. It's time for that based on what you're going. What are you doing when it comes to LLC, what you are protecting? Because even with that, most people don't even know how to leverage it to now get money from it to, buy a trailer for $5,000, get it valued at 10, put the insurance on 10. So you basically made $5,000 of equity in a trailer because you have an LLC or an entity. So there's plenty of ways that you can get this done. And most people don't even understand how to do that in the first place. All they know is LLC to protect me. Protect you from what, right? So in anything that I'm saying, I can now expand on it at a later date that's not for this class today, but I just want to focus on profit margin. So if you have all those things that I just talked about as being a freight dispatcher, your average cost might be right about $500 a month that's going to cost you. And now your percentage that you would now make would only go up based on the revenue that you make. Okay, your profit margin goes up based on the amount of revenue you make. Okay, unlike a truck, it's so many fixed costs that now you always are somewhere in this struggle of fixed costs. You can't do the same with a truck unless you have a truck, a trailer, some other stuff going on. And this is why I try to tell people that one of the best things you can do is attach your trucking business. Maybe it's performing at 30% profit margin, but a dispatch company might be doing 90%. You put them both together, you win it. That's the whole point. Husband drive, wife dispatch, come together. Friend drive, best friends in 3rd grade, dude, side chick, right? Uncle, baby, that who somebody need to come together, and both people learn how to do something, come together and bring your profit margins up together. That's the identification of scaling, to be able to make my profit margin go up. When you grow, I want 50 trucks, you're growing. A lot of times your profit margin per every unit is decreasing because you get 20 trucks and you need a full-time mechanic, a full-time body shop. The more things you're adding as you're going this way, your profit margin is going less. You make more money, but growth requires more overhead. But if you do things strategically, you can go up scale. You're just making more money based on profit margin. Okay, so the math will be this. If you had an overhead of say $6,000 to be a freight dispatcher and you made $100,000 a year, that's the reason why I tell people to do the 350 a piece, because it's so easy to hit 6 figures if each one of your clients only running at 350. That's why I do that number. Okay, the whole goal is to make 6 figures. You ain't trying to make 6 figures. I don't even want you to be my student, to tell you the truth, because you ain't gonna make no money and you're gonna be struggling. You're gonna be crying. Okay, that's why I do the course after the course. I want people that are committed, not curious. Okay, so based on that, if you make $100,000 a year and your overhead is $6,000, you make a profit margin of 94%. Now I got multiple businesses, and I don't know no other business that has profit margins that high. And that's you make 100,000. Let's say you don't make 100,000, you make $50,000 a year. At $50,000 a year being a freight dispatcher, your profit margin at $6,000 would be 88%. Then if you only make $25,000 a year because you're trying, you're figuring it out, that's good. You know what I mean? You're trying to hustle it up. Then your profit margin will still be at like 76%. Okay, so based on what it costs and the amount of money you can generate. So you see it's different, but trucking is a whole nother flat. So I've been talking right about 30 minutes and I've been talking fast. I've been going in. Now I'm not going to start over on nothing, right? But the question, anybody got questions based on anything that they see right here, of maybe I can kind of re-explain in a small manner, because maybe you missed it and I was talking fast. You might have to unmute yourself because I muted all y'all. Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, no, man, love the knowledge, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You making me see this thing in a whole different perspective, man. I like this dispatch thing the way it's going in it. And I'm sitting here thinking about, man, maybe I should put somebody in that truck and just start dispatching too, because this is, I mean, you preaching, bro. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah. And that's how we try to wake people up to it. You know what I mean? Like, man, they're sleeping on a sleeping giant because people look at it in a negative way, instead of, at the end of the day, business, money, profit margins, that's what matters. Because I did the same thing. I was running my businesses, had everything going. Then I had B Logistics, and I was like, oh, well, we're already in the office anyway. I'm just going to do something because we already in the office. Like, that was kind of my thought process. And then I started looking at the graph one day, because I'm looking at all my business, profit margins, all that kind of stuff. And even to this day, I got like a little book, right? I got this little book that I keep, right? So this is like my little personal diary or something, right? So let's say if I get a load from one of my carriers, one of my drivers, and what I do, say I pay my drivers 25%, right? So let's say the load made $2,000. And then I go back at the end of the week and I deduct my cost. But say one of my trucks are driving and they say the load paid $1,000. Well, then I go in and put the amount of money I put in my book, for me, is 59% of that. So I could put $590. So then for that one load, so then when they're asking me for fuel or something, I have these parentheses that I go back and deduct every week. So let's say the truck made $5,000, but I went back and took off, automatically put my percentage in there, did all my stuff, started at 59% because I'm taking out the driver's pay, pay 12% into my business, every single load I get into Next Level Hot Shot, and then I'm taking out the ELD, the factory, whatever. I take them percentages out, whatever. So anyway, I get 59% based on my business. So then I put that, and then I go back the end of the week, take off the insurance, which I take that denomination off in that. So I might have made $5,000. When I do the math, I made $1,250. So then I put $1,250. Then all my other businesses, I calculate how much money I make. Like my dispatchers, when they dispatch freight, if we have most of them have a 6-4 split. So if they dispatch $15,000 a week in freight, that means, and we charge 10%, I get $1,500 profit, but my 6%, I write down $600. So I literally don't even look at the gross because I know that's manipulative, and that's how people get in trouble. All I'm looking at is what do I get? So if a week I make 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever amount of money it is, I'm like, okay, that was a good week. Look at the month. Okay, I'm on track for the month. Okay, this week's kind of slow. I made 7,000. Okay, next year I need 8,000 a week. Okay, I got the next time to hit like 8. I hit 9. So I'm only looking at my money, mine. I'm not looking at theirs. And so that's what gets people in trouble, in trucking especially, exclusively. They looking at me, I make $5,000 a week. No, you don't. You understand what I'm saying, right? See, with that, I did that for myself to make sure that I never look at gross. And I've been doing this for years, and I still like it like this.
Yeah, numbers don't lie.
Correct. So they can cap all they want. You know what I'm saying? People out here capping like a mug. You can do all that stuff. Big facts. Do what now? I think somebody had what? Oh, somebody say something?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they did, but then it went back to
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it was a glitch or something in the computer. But yeah, man, so I'm glad you see that. But yeah, that's the thing about the back part of this thing, though, is, and that's what I'm saying. You can see that, and that's all. I'll tell your wife certain tricks, and you got ebooks and all that, how to get carriers and all that kind of stuff. But I'll let your wife down with a couple of things during the curriculum, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Oh, no doubt. Angel, no doubt. But that's why I was letting your wife down with a couple of things of curriculum. Like, you got to get these carriers. I said, get your husband. He out there in the truck. Make sure, say, hey, don't come home unless you at least pass out 5 of my flyers or digital flyers, or tell 5 people that our dispatch will change your life. Make it to where every day he in the truck, because word of mouth is the strongest form of advertising, even to this day, until you build a brand. So tell him every day, 5 people every day, and to get to a place where you can look back and say, hey, man, we making way more money dispatching than me being in this truck. I'm going to throw somebody in this truck, and they're going to be OTR.
Right. No, I understand. Trust me. She told me right away. She's like, hey, I'm gonna make some flyers, and you're gonna start posting them in truck stops, and you know what I mean? We got a few buddies that do the same thing we do. I mean, one guy is fortunate enough to have like local stuff for C.H. Robinson, and he makes great money out of his box truck working through them. They keep him busy Monday to Friday. I have 2 more buddies. They got box trucks as well, and they're doing their own dispatching and driving, and it becomes a headache because they got to do their BOLs, their rate cons, all that. See, I'm fortunate enough to have my wife to do that for me, so that helps a lot. So I'm trying to, basically, I wanted her to learn this so she can approach like my friends and try to get them to let her do the dispatching part. You know what I mean? Even if we charge them a little less than 10%, 7% or something, just to get her in the door and learn it and perfect it. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I told her the same thing. She said something about, she said, I want to make sure I'm ready and blah, blah, blah. I said, no, your husband's correct. I will side with him, because the dispatcher, you suck until you book 100 loads. I don't care what nobody say. So now the thing about it, you only dispatch for you and your family. Y'all might run 3 loads a week, maybe 4. It's going to take you 6 months to get good. So now jump out here with both feet, get 4 or 5 carriers, and you're going to book 100 loads in 2.5 months. And through that process, you're going to learn a whole lot. It's going to make you better. You got to get your feet wet. You got to jump out here and get with it. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not really big into, telling people, come as you are, drag your feet. Man, you need to come out here and get some stuff done, because the greatest value you can have is your mind and your experience. So you cannot fake confidence. We talk about people all the time. Then when you actually look up the psychology of the brain, not this secret people that's metaphysicists, or people that believe in a secret, or they are manifesting, all that crap that people be talking about. They're saying that not understanding how your brain works. So your brain is going to be greater than some book fism that somebody talking about. And so based on that, they've proven that you cannot fake confidence. You have confidence and an air of confidence and stuff like that. You have it based on what you know or understand based on competency. So what you know how to do, you automatically have confidence. You see what I'm saying? So that's why for you to get that confidence, you need to get out here and get it. So the best thing to do is don't lie to a carrier. Tell them, hey, I'm new. I got educational from a good person. I know this, I know that. I know the national average for your equipment. I know your truck do this, blah, blah, blah. Like kill them with the knowledge so they know you're not playing, but then be like, I can't really guarantee certain, what you're going to make it weekly, but let's get started. You can do me part-time, full-time. I don't care. Let's get it, right? So that way you at least get out here. As long as you don't overpromise, you're going to be fine. So what you see people doing in the scope of, dispatching in the first place is everybody's overpromising under delivery. Because you think that somebody in the drive-in, it's normal for them to make $8,000 a week because you have no reference point. No one showed you how to calculate over-the-road miles. You've never seen what the national average is. You don't know what it is for equipment types through different seasons. So you just saying yes to anything, and then you get fired 3 days later. And so that's why when people think getting a carrier is hard, that's the easiest thing in the world, getting a carrier. The hard thing is keeping them. So the only reason why a person can't get a carrier because they literally know nothing educationally about trucking to have a regular conversation. That's the only reason why. You ain't got to be good at sales, personality, none of that. Just a simple fact. Hey, you got this drive-in. This is what I can do with your drive-in. You live in Louisiana. You want to be regional. This week we're going to go up to Dallas. We're going to hit Oklahoma, Tulsa. We're going to hit this, and boom, you'll be back. What you want to do? And they're going to be like, run the play. Okay, fill out this carrier agreement and get off the phone. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not difficult by no means. The other conversations, a broker, you got to know, because if the broker's screwing you, they're trying to help you, you got to kind of navigate brokers. And shippers are the ones that don't give a crap that you exist, and they will cuss you out, your mama, everybody, right? So that's the one. So if somebody can't talk to a carrier, they sure can't mess with the other two people in the industry at all. Because a broker is looking to screw you. A broker is not your friend. They are looking to screw you, right? So then if you don't know what you know, they're going to sign you up for the screwing. Please believe me. Okay, good. What's we got? Okay, Andrew said, what's the hardest part of getting? Nothing. Part about getting owner-operators, nothing. Conversation. You got to have proper education. Now, can dispatchers make that just using? Yes. Well, yes and no. So me doing the 350, there's a methodology behind that of putting certain parameters together on what type of carriers and stuff like that I teach that it's not for today. But I just tell them basically 350. Yeah, this has nothing to do. Anything I'm going over has nothing to do with direct freight, direct customers, none of that. So even for us, when I teach the criteria of what we do, in general, you should be able to make $100,000 a year without you ever getting to a shipper. Getting to a shipper is like the utopicness of making certain levels of money that most people, 99% of people, will never accomplish at a great scale because it's extremely difficult. You got to know rates, lanes, commodities. You got to have the capacity to get the truck, all that kind of stuff. You got to have the capacity that the shipper wants. There's a lot of variables, a lot of cold calling, hung up with, then you really have to be a salesperson to get this done. There's a lot of things that go behind the aspect of actually acquiring a shipper that can give you freight at a good rate based on what everyone will agree to for a long period of time. So that's up here. I teach people how to do that, but I'm saying that's still up here. So just from the normalcy of getting things done on a freight dispatcher, if you just use the basic formulation, making six figures isn't difficult if you actually run the play, do the steps, market properly, do a business, have a good website that makes sense, your message is congruent. And so it's a lot of other things behind that that's actually going to help you be successful though. And that's the part that people are trying to skip over, is the fact of actually establishing a good business and making it make sense, like to where your business actually exists. So, now I'll give you a real quick example there, then I'm gonna go to this other thing that I got for y'all, because I don't want this to be too long, because I do like intermittent fasting, so I'm supposed to eat at 12 o'clock, and I feel like a little kind of like, my head kind of feeling like that, what I'm saying? I need to eat something. But let's look at this real quick. So like prime example, I'm gonna show y'all this. So if anybody's been following me for a while on Instagram, you should know, if you've been paying attention, my slogan is, let us partner with you, okay? Let us partner with you, right? This is my website. Y'all probably have been to it, whatever. So right off the website, you see Command the Road, plotting your course together. You come down here. Success built on partnerships. Over here it talks about togetherness. Equip, ready to launch. This together talks about togetherness. Great investment, let us partner with you. If you were to go find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you constantly see a theme that my company's belief is that we partner with our clients. So since I have a trucking business, if something happens to my clients in B Logistics, they can leverage all the same relationships that I currently have in my trucking business: mobile mechanics, regular mechanics, tire shop, discounts. If you want to stay at a hotel on the website, we just got that going. We're looking at making sure that we're trying to get an account with the pretty much the United States in general, the whole country, to where you were to end up going to any Marriott when our clients have a reset, they will get $30 off a night all over the United States. So right now we only have it for Texas only. It's completely Texas right now, but now we're trying to make it to where we get it from the United States, because obviously a lot of our carriers are OTR, right? So things like that, doing it makes the carrier understand that my slogan actually means something. It is our complete implementation of how we think we will be successful in the industry. It's not something that rhymes or is cute. Folks on the road, we booked the load. See, that kind of stuff is cute, but no one cared. What does that mean? So if I book a freight and I give it to you, what happens when I'm on the side of the road, my truck is messed up? What you finna do for me then? Hey, I'm 200 miles away from the nearest gas station. How can you help me? And you on the phone like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? That stuff. You need to have other services as you build out your business and your expertise grows. Otherwise, you would not survive after 6 months or maybe a year, because all you do is book freight. That means you got to do it for a cheap percentage. The cheaper the percentage, you cannot scale, hire people, grow, market, because you don't have the proper profit margins to do so. So this is not a game of who can be the cheapest. It's the game of who's the best. So me versus any other dispatch company, based on my belief and how anal retentive I am in comparison to other people, ain't nobody better than us. So now my thing is to build up my people to have the same empathy and commitment to the desired partnership that I have. So if I have the same commitment, I can make my people have the same. You can't compete with me, no day of the week, because if you got a load paying better than ours, well, when your carrier had blown up a transmission, you didn't have a connection. He spent $5,000, but he would have came over to me. He would have spent $2,800, and he would get to pay it back in 6 months. I'm still gonna have something, still, okay? But that's the mindset of the benefit or the good side of having competition. Is gonna make you level up. So all these right here, even on this affiliates, these are partners. I'm hoping by the end of the year have like 20 of these. So we just added the MyT products. I didn't even see that on there. My guy, but he didn't tell me. We got MyT. I've got a Wave invoicing coming. We brought it, and then other people that do compliance. I've been working with them for a while, just haven't had it on my website. So we finna have about 20 people over here, because we believe in partnerships. That's what I believe, right? When I did that video, if y'all watched it, 10% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape. This is what I believe, okay? So since I believe it, we implement it in our business, okay? So let's go to this Motor Carrier HQ real quick. So if y'all got questions, y'all can throw it in a little chat or something, like maybe that'd be easier. Okay, so now this is where you should do this. So dispatcher, this is a free gem right here for you. Get a flyer, make it digitally. We make them for you if you want my team to do it. I don't do that stuff. I have a team, okay? So they will make you a good flyer that makes sense. We don't do none of this foolishness that people are getting done through Fiverr of people that are not in the industry. Please understand. But anyway, we'll get you a flyer. You post it in these groups. A lot of these groups have 100, 50, 60, 5,000, carriers, and go in their hot shop, box trucks, whatever you have education to dispatch for. Get you a flyer, throw it in there and say, hey, I'm a dispatcher. I specialize in, don't do more than 2 equipment types, because y'all don't know how to do none of this stuff anyway. But put maybe 2 equipment types that you know how to dispatch for, you at least got education on, or you want to start, whatever it is. Put that in there, throw it in the group, and say, hey, but I do dispatching for these equipment types, but I also would like to do something free for the carriers, because I love the carriers, whatever you're gonna say. Reach out to me and we'll help you figure out your cost to break even, your cost from our calculations, your break even point. You can call it all these things, that different people recognize it for different stuff, right? And you be like, it's free. Email me at, and don't do no calls. Nobody blow up your phone and they call you all in the middle of the night, but set up to where they need to email you. When they email you, obviously you have the contact information to email them back at a later date. Email them, put them on a Zoom like this if you feel comfortable speaking, or email them, call them on the phone, say, hey, can you talk? Yes, okay, cool. Now I need you to tell me some of this information. But obviously it's easier if you can Zoom so they can see the information. Okay. But hey, whatever you need to do to get it done, you get it done. Okay. But anyway, it starts at the very top. So what I love about this one, based on going to Motor Carrier HQ, right, is they already give you some preset information you need to know. So like when you come out here and it says monthly miles driven, it says most new owner operators drive between 10,500 to 15,000 miles per month. They already told you, the industry is already telling you, when you start a new authority, you need to be over the road. It's already telling you that. And people have different philosophies when they start their business, not based upon the actual system, but just friends, family members, instead of how does this operation work? They should get their information there. Then they go to friends and family, but they go friends and family and then try to make something happen out of that. Wrong. Okay. So anyway, 12,500 miles. They say to be a median. Then they ask you truck. They put 7 in here, fuel $3. We know that ain't right. And driver's wage. So what we're going to do is play with this. Okay. So let's do an illustration. I play with this with my other guy with his wife. We're going to play with like this. Let's say you get a carrier. So let's say you get somebody who got a hot shot. Okay. We're not going to try to use anybody as their own personal example because people's business models are exclusive for theirs, right? But anyway, let's say you get a carrier. He reaches out to you and he says, hey, man, no, let's say I got to drive in. I got a big truck because most people learn how to dispatch big trucks. I got a big truck. I want to be local, which means he wants to travel about 250 miles a day, right? So let's say he travels 250 miles a day to book a freight. Let's say he does another 100 miles of randomly driving around, to go to the shipper, pick it up, drop off the load, come back home. So let's say they travel 350 miles a day. 350 miles a day times 5 is 1,750. 1,750 times 4 puts you at 7,000 miles in a month. So we're going to say they want 7,000 miles. Okay, 7,000 miles. And now we have truck mile per mile per gallon. Okay. So now we're going to say 6 because the average is 6 because some people live in mountainous places, all that. So we're going to put it at 6. And now the cost of diesel, I looked at it yesterday, it's like $4.59 is across the United States for diesel. And then the driver's wage. Right now, we ain't going to put nothing, okay? We're going to act like this owner operator. He says, hey, man, I got a whole bunch of money. I don't even need to get paid. I'm just trying to run this play. And I'm trying to be local. Say, okay. Come down here, monthly insurance. It says monthly insurance as a national average is about $1,500. This is why I told y'all on the other chart, you need to actually ask these questions because everyone's business model is unique. That's why I said that, okay? Let's say he got some Aflac insurance, right? Where to make sure that, they were to fall off their trailer or get hurt or something, they have some Aflac. So we're going to keep that there at 138. Then let's say they got a tractor payment. Let's say they rent that tractor because a lot of people, equipment was missing for a long time. So a lot of people got big trucks they're renting. Average rental price is $1,000 a month because I charge the same amount. Anyway, monthly tractor payment says $1,000. Monthly trailer payment. Yeah, because that's their truck payment they rent. We'll just do one. Okay, so we just say monthly that's their truck. Let's say their truck is average price is $1,250. So I read that wrong, $1,250. And then the trailer, we're gonna put $1,000 because they rented it from somebody. Monthly repairs, we'll keep that at $1,250. And let's say they have an accounting. Let's say they got somebody cheap. They're gonna do $1,200 a month, $1,200 a year. IRP, that's about normal. Subscriptions, let's say they got their own load board. They got their own load board, so they still kind of trying to book freight themselves. Load board, cell phone. That's by average 15. That's by average $1,500. And so now the bottom part of this is now it's going to calculate the rate per mile calculator. So wait, let's go back up real quick. So 7,000 miles. Now remember this square because I'm gonna change this. They gonna, I'm saying we convinced them to go from being local to now we want to convince them to be OTR because they ain't making no money. So now to say 7,000 miles These are all their normal expenses based on their business model. That's why you got to get it uniquely. So now it breaks it down per every mile that they drive. So pretty much for them to break even, right, where they're not losing, they need to average $1.59 a mile for every mile that they drive. Okay, so let's go back up. So at this point, we didn't say they made any money, right? So let's just say we want to pretend like the driver's wage is 50 cents a mile. That's reasonable. Okay, he wants to get 50 cents a mile based on driving. Okay, because originally it was $1.59. He didn't want to get no pay. You remember? He didn't want to get paid at all. Now he says, you know what? How much would it be if I pay myself? But we're gonna say how many cents do you need to pay yourself every mile? And so he might say, oh, I'm trying to pay myself everything. You can't do that. You need to pick. And so I'm gonna show you the next step, which would be depending on their equipment type. If they say I want to get paid 25% of what I put up, you will now need to go find whatever the national average is for their equipment type and then do 25 cents a day, 25% a day. But we're not gonna do that right now. All we're gonna focus on is they want to pay themselves 50 cents a mile, which is not crazy by no means. Okay, that's really reasonable. So now that means they need $2.09, right, per mile in order to make this thing work. Okay. So, but bear with me real quick. I'm gonna go to Dat real quick because Dat took down, they used to do this on Instagram all the time, but Dat started acting funny. So they took it down on their Instagram page. So now you gotta always go to their Facebook page now to figure out what the national averages are. If you don't have access to load boards or if you don't have the power, Dat or whatever, you're not gonna have any reference to get this done. Sorry, what's the wrong thing? Trend lines. Come down here, and here it is right here. So you got a drive-in, right? So right now, drive-in, the national average for drive-in right about is 246, okay? 246. So now, yes, it's different. Sometimes you go, when you go shorter distances, sometimes you make higher rate per mile, blah, blah, blah. We're not worried about that right now. All we worried about is the national average for your equipment type is 246. So 246, when he pays himself, based on this, is he make $2.09. So 246 minus $2.09 is now he's actually profiting where he can scale the business. Scale. He's profiting 37 cents every mile. So now let's say again, how many miles did he go? 7,000 miles. So 37 cents times 7,000 miles would mean a profit. So he can put back in his business to scale $2,590 a month. And I'm telling you right now, just with his truck and trailer payment, without paying somebody, he cannot do that. So he gonna make $2,500 a month, your truck note and your insurance and everything, he can't even scale. So right now they got a business, they will tell you, I'm ready to scale, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna buy another truck and I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna get 3 trucks, my cousin truck. They're gonna say all this and say, no, sir. The money does not look that way, okay, based on what you're telling me. Now, please understand how detailed I'm doing this. It's not for y'all to do. It's just to do is very simple, to give them something for free and say, hey, man, if this thing said $2.09, you say, hey, so it's at $2.09. I'm a dispatcher. I'm guaranteeing I can get you greater than that. I can get you $2.46 a mile if I can be your dispatcher. And they'll say, okay. And they send you all the information. You got a carrier. I'm just taking it so much further because I'm teaching y'all. So I need to go further than what you would do. So we go back to the top. Let's say he tells you he want to scale. Like if I'm doing mentoring with somebody, they say I want to scale. I would take this number, do the math and say, no, sir, you can't scale. This is what you need to do. You need to go back up here. You need to go hard. So what I need you to do is put up 14,000 miles in a month, right? I need you to go hard. We need to go crazy. Oh, we need to get crazy, right? Everything else is the same. I'm not going to change nothing. Come down here to the very bottom. Now your profit margin or your cost to operate went down to $1.69. So it went from $2.09 to $1.69 because you went more miles. The more miles you put up, that's what's controlling the revenue to where now your fixed costs seemingly go down because you're putting up more money. So that's cheaper for him to operate. So if we do 269 from that, what was that again? 269. Oh, there it is. 246.
236. Oh.
Yeah, 246. So 246 minus 169 is a difference of 77 cents. So now 77 cents times 14,000 miles. Now he made a profit of $10,780 because he only paid himself 50 cents, even though he went crazy, right? So because of that, he killed himself, did all he could do. But if he did this, now he went up from 2,500 miles to 10,000. Now he can go get another truck and trailer as he sees fit. If his credit's good, business credit, he can go get a truck every 3 to 6 months because he out here getting it. You see? So is it possible? Yes. It does not matter. Profit margins, that's fine. You still got to know the money, put the math, and come up with a plan that actually works. If you work the plan that works, be consistent, stack your money, don't be stupid. You can go on this business, you can go crazy, get 10, 15, 20 trucks, right? But because when you do this and the bank sees this and you got a business model that looks gangster, they will give you money because it makes sense of how they're going to get their money back. That's they looking at your accounts, make a relationship with the bank. He had deposits of, oh my God, he was out here making, $7,000, $8,000 a week deposit. He paid himself, but then he keeps this money in the bank account. They're looking at everything. They're not stupid. They've been out here forever. So they know what's up. People, we doing this new, right? We 30, 40, 50 years old. We knew. They've been doing this for hundreds of years. Okay? So I went longer than I thought, you know what I'm saying? But I do want to give it to you. I like to teach. I like to give people the game. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so based on that, questions. I might post on YouTube. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this man, that right there, what you just did right there, man, you just man, this is it right here. You just I love it. I love it. As far as that calculator you just used, that definitely is gonna help me out a lot. And on top of that, it's definitely gonna help out my wife as far as a pitch for when she's looking for people to dispatch. You know what I mean? I love the way you presented it. You put it together. That was great knowledge right there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited. I love watching. I mean, if you see, I'm always following you. I'm always, man, you post, I'm on it. You know what I mean? I seen that you said you were going to have this class, man. I was on it. I'm like, this guy's going to be tired of us.
Yeah, I like it like that, right? Because at the end of the day, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm infatuated with information. And that's the thing about it, right? Most people don't seek anything. So the whole idea of the difference between knowledge and wisdom, right? And most people don't have any knowledge. It's just hearsay. That is not knowledge, right? Knowledge is proven information. So you get knowledge, but then you need sometimes a person to put it together, or you need time to think about it because you need wisdom to apply the information accurately. And that's the thing. So if you don't make your life where you are a sponge for information, then you're always going to make decisions based on how you feel, and your feelings are ignorant, means not knowing, because unless you have experience doing this, when you think of what you should do, it's going to be wrong. And this is why people fail and they quit, right? So that's the thing. You're going to fail every day at something. The question is, are you going to quit? And so for me and my people, I ain't going to never quit. I'm going to die first before I quit. I'm not going to quit ever. I'll be homeless. I ain't finna quit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, never. You know what I mean? So because of that, I made that promise to myself a long time. We ain't never quit. I'm going to be homeless first before I'll be forced to go get a job. Homeless. That means they took the car, everything, can't get nothing. No one likes me. I can't stay with nobody's house. Homeless. Then I'll be like, I might as well get a job now. But until that time comes, I know my next decision can be the one that changed my life. I only got to be right one time. If I can be right one time, it'll change my whole life. That's it. So I throw 100 things against the wall, knowing if I'm right one time, it's going to change the game for me and my family forever.
Right. No, that example that you use right now, that was that what you just did, breaking it down. That was perfect right there. That's what really, that shows you, that showed us how to basically be able to, you know what I mean, understand it in a better perspective. Like, I mean, that was it right there. So I'm glad that I joined the Zoom class. I appreciate everything you're doing. Only one question. I know I could talk you to death. Trust me. I know you know that already. But you got so you said you pay the driver 25%, right? 59% it goes to 59% goes, it's for you. Then 12% goes to the business, and then there's 4% left. Is that like for gas, or how do you go as far as about the percentage in gas and all that stuff? Like where does that fall into?
Okay. So for me, like my little binder, like I mean, I still have stuff like this that's fine or whatever. But like I'm saying, like say like so my my assistant dispatches my truck. So she would just we have like a little chart which tells me what the loads are doing, right? So I'll look up and say I got a load for $1,000 out of 100%. That's the driver's pay, factoring, how much I put in the business. I do like 12% on the business, all that. So all my deductions that I have that are set aside, every time I get a load, I just put 59% of whatever that load paid. That's just what I do, okay? Based on that, because I'm not driving, right? So since I'm not driving, I start at 59% of whatever it is. So we do $10,000 in a week, I start 59%. And then from there, I now deduct the insurance. So the insurance is $400, right? So if it was, I'm gonna try to use it math, say it was $2,000 left out of 59%. I'm gonna take $400 off for insurance, which means just $1,600 left. And then from there, I'm gonna figure out how much fuel that we use too. So let's say it took $1,000 in fuel. Then I say, okay, I made $600 profit. But that $600 I know that I have, I can go blow it because I've already put a couple of percentages down. I had to go look at it off my mind because I did this like 5 years ago. I ain't even looked at this thing myself because I just have been doing the same thing. But that basically that $600 I have like 3%, I think, in escrow or something like that, where if something happens with maintenance, I have the money. But that amount of money is where I know I can take that $600 and throw it in the air. That's why I like to look at it like that. Like how much that I can just throw in the air and it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So basically from the 59%, you start subtracting from that, like some of the expenses into to your bottom dollar, and then that's what you have. Boom. Correct. That's what you're.
Yes, because my mindset, I like to live in a mindset of scarcity. Because that's when I told you, I think I told you the other day, whatever it was, like, I'm 39 now. I haven't had a vacation since I was, 31, right? So my thing is that I'm going hard until I hit these numbers and I have passive income to the number that I want. Otherwise, I'm working. So I keep it in the scarcity mindset. I don't care that I'm doing better than somebody else or this person, or I'm doing good. I don't care about none of that. All I know is I'm looking at these numbers from the bottom, and I need to make these numbers make sense because I want to retire myself as soon as possible. So when I make it to where my personal thing is I want to have $25,000 of passive income coming from real estate, to trucks, to trailers, to whatever, dispatching, freight traffics, debt, factoring, whatever. I don't care. All of it's coming together. When I hit $25,000 a month, I'm gonna pull back, give equity to different people that I know in my businesses. They can run it all day long, and I'll talk to them for 2 or 3 hours a day. I'm gonna move, live in Puerto Rico, and I'm gonna do Airbnb in Puerto Rico and May. And I'm gonna be out of here. And you ain't gonna get me to come back and do nothing. So my whole focal point is grind, retire. I'm not gonna retire because I get old. I'm retired because I want to. And when I hit my goals, my financial freedom goals.
Okay, definitely, man. I'll see you in Puerto Rico.
There you go. I'm gonna be over there. You know what I'm talking about? I know your wife told me. I said, "Oh man, that's what's up." You know what I mean? I'm from there. We all like, she was talking about landscaping with me. I was like, gang. Because in my landscaping business, another segment of my landscaping business, we have maids too. And I was telling her that with my Airbnb, we're trying to get some stuff over here in the States, but I'm trying to get a contract with maids. So I get a contract with maids. I'm gonna bring on more maids. But then when I get ready to move to other places, since it's Puerto Rico and here, the insurance will still be good either way. So then when I go to Puerto Rico and do real estate and do Airbnb there, I will have my maids company there too. So then everybody else that I know from trucking or other entrepreneurs, when I know a couple people have some properties in Puerto Rico, we would just do all their cleaning too. So that's additional money coming in all the time from my company doing maids, and then just be able to do Airbnb here and the States. But I'm not gonna do nothing. I'll just pick up the phone and talk to my people, and they're gonna run the play. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Yes, I want to be like 9 to 12. Yeah, 9 to 12, I talk on the phone. Then after that, don't talk to me, cut the phone off. You can debrief me in the morning. But that's it. So that's what I'm saying. I have my mind, focused on the end goal. So then I can just spend my life doing whatever I want to do.
Right. No, definitely, man. You got your goals, and I see you definitely work hard you work hard. I see that, man.
Yeah.
You definitely dedicated, and you definitely gonna reach your goals here soon, man. I mean, I see the way you attack things, and man, I wish you the best, man, and I appreciate everything and all the wisdom and all the knowledge, especially stuff like this that you're just giving us, this free knowledge, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So, and that's why we didn't mind paying for a course, and you know what I mean? Because I mean, it was well worth it. And man, you always giving out good gems, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, no problem. I appreciate y'all. That's
Yeah,
definitely.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you. Let me see what these questions. Okay, I appreciate it. I got me a box truck driver. I'm having trouble trip planning and booking loads. I'm lost. The person I paid do not answer in a timely manner, and it's messing me up with the carrier. I paid 3 different people, and I'm just craving for training. Yeah, that sounds about right, man. So even with that, I mean, we don't have anybody that you could call directly ourselves. I'm big into training properly. I'm not trying to be funny when I say that, but I'm into training properly people so that way you can handle it. But then secondly, on top of that, we have a Facebook group. And so we have I have some people in here that's some killers in the Facebook group that, that are some of my students, and they done went on and we just text message each other, and they make thousands of dollars a week so they can do their own stuff. So we have a lot of different people that can help. You can email us and stuff like that, but that's because of the things that you're talking about, trip planning and booking loads. That's because this is not a shade at all, but I'm saying you don't understand logistics. So if the course that you took did not train you logistics, then you're not leveraging the hours of service to anticipate miles driven when you can pick up loads. So say somebody, for briefly, you book a load, they get there 8 o'clock in the morning, they leave at 10, the load's going 300 miles, which is going to take 5 hours roughly to get there, give them 6 hours for traffic. If they leave at 10, it's going to take them 6 hours to get there. That's 4 o'clock. If they take a break, they might get there at 4:30, which means if I know that and they're going to get to the facility and get unloaded, I can't get them the next load. I can't get another load to tomorrow. But when they text me at 10 o'clock in the morning, based on logistics and how many miles the load was going, I already know at 10 o'clock in the morning to book their next load first thing in the morning, picking up in however many radius. And so no one is teaching people logistics through these dispatch courses, and that's what we go over. That's why it's making it difficult for what you're saying. Just so you know. Yeah, I lost my job. I feel like Giddy really trying to jump on. Yeah, Giddy. Well, this is golden, Lord. I'm supposed to be working. I'm learning info. There we go. That's how we get it. Big goals. Yeah, I like it. Wow, Brother Wade Trucking is set up for you is also much blessing. Thank you so much. Exactly. I would really love to jump on board with the fam and myself, but everybody, yeah, that's the key, man. I'm trying to enhance my own economy, but even with that, not even trying to be funny, but every person that's messing with me, everyone who is affiliated with me, I put everybody on contracts, tell everybody, hey man, I'm treating y'all like I do anybody else. Nepotism is the simple fact that I gave you an opportunity that I may not give to somebody else, but I need you to execute. Because you don't execute, I gotta let you go, man, because we gotta get out here and get it. Because it's better for me to execute, retire, get this money, and then maybe pay you to sit down than to make me be a stumbling block forever. You know what I'm saying? And that's a hard reality because I got a business with, with my dad, on the trucks, he be around, and trust me. So I ain't gonna get into that, but yeah, it's rough, man. Thank you so much. I really is about to pay someone for this calculation. Oh, I got you. You know what I'm talking about? Anything you need, Miss Kenyatta, I'm your boy. I'll let I was really about to pay someone. Yeah, I got you. We can even go with our mentorship at the end of the month too. We'll go over it again. I'll let you pitch me some, or I'll give you different scenarios, and you can kind of type it in, and you can play this math like I did. Do you suggest someone with no experience get a job in dispatch or brokering? No, dispatch. Dispatch is going to teach you everything you need to know from the other side of trucking without any overhead. Did you give gems about the box truck lane? No, I didn't give anything about box truck. I didn't really go over there. It was just about the monetary. Ready for this April class dates. Oh yeah, when that's right. You're trying to come in person. I'm gonna blow your head off in person. This was just an hour. I'm gonna give you the smoke. We got 40 hours to get it in. I'm gonna give it to you. Them days. Yeah, cause the first 2 days I'm gonna try to make your head hurt. Then we got homework, and then the other was just implementation. But we're gonna get it in. Do you suggest getting a job in dispatch or taking a course and then take the job? That's a complete. That's an individual preference. I would say my whole reason for leaving a job is I didn't want nobody to tell me what to do because I'm rebellious. So for me, I left a job because can't nobody tell me what to do. So for me, I would say no. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, number one. Number two, when you look at Okay, this be the last thing I do. When you look at the math, okay, so the national, I did that before. The average American makes $52,000 a year, right? So different people live different places. Some people got insurance, some don't. Some people got, certain taxes, 401ks, blah, 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 whatever, right? Okay, so let's say you take 30% off that for taxes, just for easy estimation, right? Then basically, if you make $52,000 a year, that equates to being $35,000 a year. $35,000 a year divided into 52 makes it pretty much like $721. So the average American makes about $721 to their hand, right? To their hand. That's not on paper, to your hand. So you could literally learn how to dispatch 2 hot shots, charge 10% if they both made $5,000 a week, which is not hard if you've been trained properly. You can make $5,000 a week. You make $1,000 a week with 2 trucks. So that's what I'm saying. So like when I do math like that, I'm not gonna work for nobody, right? Because it's not that difficult. Now, when I'm saying that difficult, my son, y'all been following me. He was 12 years old. He booked his first load. He literally took the digital course, mine. I was not helping him. He had to do all the homework in the digital course. Then we had to log him into the load boards and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, he was able to ask questions like, this is a good load, but he already knew everything according to the curriculum because he had to take notes. It took him I think like a month or something. We was only doing so much at a certain time for him because he's 12. So he got all together, had his notes, put them on the load board, told him what the codes were, print off the sheet of paper for the codes. He had the codes. He was implementing them like you're supposed to. And he booked his first load. I think it took him to the second day. It was like 8 or 9 hours the first day. He had a couple of them, but they fell through. Then the second day he booked the freight. Then this winter, just this last break, he asked, Dad, can I go to the office? I said, yeah. So he came to the office, sat in there, and I think he was in the office like maybe 2 hours, and he booked the load. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying it is not, booking loads is not that difficult. If you know what to look for, you put the carrier on a game plan, a strategic game plan based on what they want to do and what you know. Then now all you do is execute. So to me, it's simple because I see it from A through Z. So most people they're struggling is because the course that you took wasn't good or the information wasn't structured. So you see A, Q, W, P, R, X, and you're trying to make it spell words, and it doesn't work like that. That's what I'm saying. That's literally why mine is the course after the course. And most people come to me have taken 2.5 courses because they took 3 courses. They still couldn't figure it out. Came here, boom, they in business. Come on now. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I'm coming to Humboldt, Texas next weekend. Y'all offer crash courses? No, I don't. If you have Angel, no, Charles Monday, we have ebooks online for that one. So if you want to have trouble doing carriers, I will go get the 5 strategic ways to find carriers. Yeah, the only kind of crash coursing thing that we're gonna have going on is our Spanish course. And we're gonna hopefully do the first one in March. And that'll be on Saturdays. And we're gonna do it real slow, like 1 item per week in Spanish for our Hispanic community to now be able to come out here and kill it too. That's why we already put all the resources online. I've almost gotten the digital course converted in Spanish already. So everything we do in English, we do in Spanish because one of the things I'm doing in business is I'm gonna hire some dispatchers in Costa Rica, and we're gonna teach them how to dispatch. So they're gonna dispatch under our umbrella, and I'm gonna charge them 2%. So that way my dispatchers can basically be like customer service representatives, but then they have the other dispatcher doing all the work. Yeah. So we're gonna be working on that, probably going into as we get everything in Spanish. So then we convert it and kind of playing with it back and forth. So that way we got 3 people now speak Spanish on the staff, but then they're gonna convert that skill set over to help them bring in clients that only speak Spanish primarily, and they will book all the freight. And all we would do is my people would just answer questions. So that way we'll be able to build this business. So like 10 people in America, 30, 40, 50 people on the other side of the world, and we're gonna make this money. Believe that. Okay, well, I appreciate y'all showing love, bumping the club. Yeah, do the things y'all need to do, get tapped in, get set up. And I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm telling you, man, based on what it was, at what age ago was your last job? I've been a full-time entrepreneur. This May will make it 6 years. And I did not grow up an entrepreneur. Nobody in my family was an entrepreneur, none of that. And I was just to the simple fact that my whole life I was getting in trouble at jobs or school, whatever, because I can't stand for somebody to tell me what to do. You tell me what to do, I want to fight. But you can ask me to do anything. I'm nice like that. You ask me something, I'll be like, cool. You know what I mean? Yes or no. but you ain't gonna make me do nothing. Otherwise, you're gonna put your hands on me and make me do it. So that was always in my mind. So I never got, but I was good at my job because my boss didn't mess with me. So I was always like into my own goals. So I was like a #1 top producing person at my job, worked for the vitamin shop in retail management for 13 years. And so I was one of the top 10 stores for a lot of years in production. So my manager didn't ever mess with me. They let me do whatever I want to do. That's why I stayed there so long. But yeah, I left my job May of 2017. And yeah, I've been a full-time entrepreneur since then. How do you get in the Facebook group? Oh no, that'll happen. Erica needs to send it over because y'all just finished the course. So she's gonna send it over. I didn't get to talk to her yet because I went from the Zoom call to this call. And that's why I need to make some other calls. So I would tell her to email it over. So she email over the link to you and you have the link and you have to do it on your phone, I think. And you would just get access to the Facebook group. Once you get in the group, then you can do it all the time from Facebook. But yeah, I told her when she get in there, ask questions, help out. We got some killers in there, probably about 10 people that's killing it. And they will be able to answer questions. My team can answer questions. Erica will answer questions. If it's something really good that maybe I think that I need to make a video, I'll make a video and I'll just throw it in the group. Or like I'll go Facebook Live or something like that and I'll just answer the question and then it'll be saved in the group.
Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank y'all. All right, y'all have a good one out there. Take care. Go get this money. Don't make excuses. You know what I'm saying? Out of anything else, you're going to learn. So basically all of someone needs, correct. That's all you need and to make it happen. All right, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day. Good luck to you.